Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if this isn't your first time. Today I'm going to be doing a video that's probably going to be very short because I'm just trying to do something simple because I said that I would start posting more and this is all I have come up with. And basically I'm just going to be showing you different books that you can read that are similar to Boys of Tommen if you've just finished the series and are in a slump, or if you just need the same sort of feeling that those books gave you. The way that we're going to do this is I'm basically just going to do it in order of how many books there is. So the thing that has the most books I'm going to go ahead and do last, and then I'm going to start with the series that only has one book out right now. So that first book that we have is Please Don't Go by E. Salvador, and it's the first book in the Midnight Strike series, and it follows Josephine and Daniel, and basically they meet because she is on a bridge about to jump and kill herself because she's having a really hard time recently because her mom died and she doesn't have any friends and just feels super alone. And he just so happens to be there as well and sees what she's about to do. So even though he doesn't know her, he goes and saves her from doing that. And he is dealing with grief also because a few years ago his little brother died. So they're both just really struggling a lot, and they're really cute so far and I'm really liking it. And they also go to the same college campus, but they didn't know before that first meeting. And I think I already know who the second book is going to be about already because there's been a few scenes with them and like I see the vibe and I ship them already. So I hope their book is next, or that they're the next couple. I have no clue if each couple is going to have multiple books or just one in the series or not. Like, there's no information about future books anywhere for this one. I checked her Instagram because this hasn't been out long enough. And also, I don't know how I forgot about this, but it is a sports romance as well because he plays baseball. See that? See that right there? Yeah. So, go sports. Now, this series I originally wasn't going to include because I didn't think about it, and I was just kind of going to do series that are more like underrated, but I saw it here on my shelf and I was like, I'm going to include this one, but you've probably seen it already a million times before, and that is The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. And then basically this first book is technically not a romance book, I just want to say that, but it follows Eden the morning after her brother's best friend that's pushing 20 rapes her, and she's like freshly 14 years old, and it just follows all 4 years of high school and her dealing with that. And she is just very Lizzie Young. Like, her and Lizzie and the way that they handle the things that they've gone through is very similar. And then we do see the love interest in this book, but things go south. And then second book is the one that's technically a romance book, and it goes through the trial when she finally like confesses what happened to her, and then the romance between Josh and Eden. It is a really problematic age gap though, I'll just say that, because she's still 17 for like all of this book if I remember correctly, and he's 21. But it's just something I kind of choose to ignore. And the third book in this series just got announced, and it won't be out until October, and I can't wait for that to come out. These were both 5-star reads for me. They're so good. And then next on the lineup, we have the Belmare High series, and these are the only 2 books that are out right now. This one I haven't read yet, but Collided, I read this one pretty soon after I read Boys of Tommen because I had seen people saying that it was similar, and they were so right. It kind of follows the same plot line where we have Hope. She's at this school and she doesn't have any friends. She's a senior, and it's just she's never really had a friend in her entire life. She just sits around and she reads romance books. She has crippling social anxiety, and then her and Heath meet and then things progress, and their entire relationship is just very Johnny and Shannon. Hope also does have an abusive father. The situation is just like different. If you read the book, you know what I mean. I don't really want to say it because I don't really know if it's a spoiler or not. And just there's scenes that happen in this book that are like the exact same that were also scenes in like Binding and Keeping 13, which I enjoyed. And also the social anxiety, the representation for it is very accurate, and I felt like I was reading in my head, so I almost cried a few times. I remember that, so that's pretty good too. And this was a 5-star, and it also ends in a cliffhanger like Binding 13 did. And then for the second book, Mended, this follows Hope and Heath still, and like I said, I haven't started reading it or anything yet. So that's really all I can say. And like for some reason, the back of the book for both of these, the summary is the exact same. So I've got nothing about this. Like, I don't know if Mary did it because there's stuff that happens in this book that are like all spoilers, so she didn't know how to write a summary without spoiling too much, or if it's a publishing error or what. But I was a little confused when I first started reading the back of the book, and it wasn't describing, like, it was just describing the first book. Like, I was a little lost. And for this one, Mary did say who the third and fourth books are going to be about, and it's going to be about Hope's first friend that she makes and Heath's friend Sebastian. But in these two books, they're already together. And we know that Sebastian went to rehab for, like, alcohol. So I'm sure those two books are going to be, like, really sad when they take place in the past. And that's just very Joey and Aoife. Like, it's the same kind of format. And I feel like this series is so similar that there's no way that Mary didn't read Boys of Tommen and take inspiration for it. And then last up, we have something that is very, very long because we have 10 books in the original series, spin-off number 1, that's a duet, spin-off number 2, that is 13 books, and then spin-off number 3 that has 1 book out right now and 2 more books are coming out this year, and that's my precious baby Addicted Calloway, Bad Reputation duet, Like Us, and then Cobalt Empire. So let's go ahead and go through these really quickly, and I'm not really going to say what the books are about that much because spoilers, like, I don't really know how to do that, so I'm just gonna do a really brief showing of the books. Book number 1, Addicted to You. This follows Lily Calloway and Lauren Hale, and they are very Joey and Aoife coded. And basically, Lily is a sex addict, Lo is an alcoholic, and they've been fake dating for the past 3 years, so their family doesn't know that they have these addictions. So that's what this book follows, is just them going through the fake dating and then their struggles and keeping it from their family. And then we also get to see Rose and Connor get together in this book, which is a future couple in later books. And then we have Ricochet. This is them getting better, which, by the way, these first 2 books only has Lily's point of view. So here's Ricochet. We get to see Reich and Daisy in this book as well, which is another future couple. Another problematic age gap, by the way, because when they met, she was only 15 and he was 22. However, when they get together, she's 18 and a half, and he's 25. Then the third book is Addicted for Now. This is when things start to pick up. It's still about Lily and Lo, though. Again, can't really say anything else about it. Then we have Kiss the Sky. This is the first Rose and Connor book, and some people might feel iffy about the fact that they're already together, but I promise you so much happens in this book outside of their relationship that it's fine and it's not boring at all. Like, this book is the farthest thing from boring ever. And again, I can't really say anything about it, but I can tell you a little bit about Connor and Rose and their relationship. And it's basically rivals to lovers, because when they were teenagers, they both, like, their schools competed against each other. So they already knew each other because of that. And then afterwards, they, like, reconnected and saw each other again and fell in love, because in Addicted to You, Lily hired Connor as her tutor and then found out that he knows her sister, Rose. So that's them, and they are both just really smart. They're geniuses, and they talk to each other in French, and Rose is also a virgin. Then we have Hot House Flower, which does time skip 2 years after Kiss the Sky, and this is Reich and Daisy's first book. And basically, Reich and Daisy are both thrill seekers, and they love to just do a lot of risky things. Daisy is a model, and just, it's a really good book. And I don't know what else to say, because again, I can't spoil anything. Then next we go back to Lily and Lo with Thrive, and basically this book starts back after where Addicted for Now left off again, goes all the way through Kiss the Sky, the gap between Kiss the Sky and Hot House Flower, and then all the way through Hot House Flower. So we go back in the past at the beginning for this one, and it goes through a lot of years for Lily and Lo. Then Addicted After All is the final Lily and Lo book, and basically all 6 of our main characters are living in the same house in this book. They've all moved in together, so we just get to see them live their everyday lives, and it's really fun. And we also get introduced to the main characters in the Bad Reputation duet in this book. Then next we have Fuel the Fire, which is Rose and Connor's second and final book, and can't say anything about it because spoilers. Just trust that it's a very good book, like you have to do with all of these. Because this is my second favorite series, Boys of Tommen is my first, and I promise you, everyone who has read Boys of Tommen and Addicted Calloway both loves, like, both of them. Not one, but not the other, you know? So, trust. Then we have Reich and Daisy's second and last book. Again, can't really say much of anything without spoiling it, but just living their everyday lives. Like, these last several books of the series is just them living their lives together with no actual plot. So it's just all very character driven, and since I love the characters so much, by the point that it stopped having a plot, I didn't care. Like, I could have read their grocery list. Like, I could have read them doing literally anything, and I just loved it very much. And then the last book to end off the series is Some Kind of Perfect, and this is an epilogue book with all 6 of the characters' point of views, and again just goes through their lives and them having all of their kids. And this is 10 years that's in this book, because it starts in 2018, it ends in 2028. I forgot to mention, and I realized as I was putting these books back away, another thing about this series is that it is the blueprint for found family, and just the relationship between all of the core 6 is amazing, and they all love each other so much. Okay, Bad Reputation duet. Basically, this follows Willow and Garrison, and the reason it's like this is because I got the cover that has both books into one big 700-page book, which I'd recommend doing as well. So that's just that explanation. But it follows Willow and Garrison, and again, because of spoilers, I can't really say much of anything other than the fact that Willow is Lo's little sister, and Garrison is this kid who terrorizes and harasses the entire core 6 and Addicted After All because he's their neighbor. But he turns his life around, and it's all good. And I don't really remember how many years this goes through, but I think it goes through like 10 as well. Just a long time. And the only issue I had with this book is I feel like at times Willow and Garrison's relationship was better when we saw little bits of them in Addicted Calloway than in here, which is kind of disappointing. And there was also just things that I wanted to see in like Willow's point of view that weren't in here. and there was just a lot of time skips at some points where I felt like I was getting like whiplash, like what is going on? I feel like I've missed something. So that's the only issue here. This wasn't a 5-star like everything else in this universe was. It was like a 4. Again, with the Like Us series, I'm just gonna go through and say which books each couple is about. I'm not gonna go through anything that happens because I really can't because of spoilers. Damaged Like Us is book number 1, and this is a bodyguard romance about Maximoff Hale, which is Lily and Lo's firstborn son, and Pharaoh Redford Keene, who Maximoff has had a crush on since he was 16, and in this book he's 23. Then Lovers Like Us is about them as well. Alphas Like Us is about them too. Then we move on to Jane, which is Rose and Connor's daughter, and these are their 2 books. And again, it's another bodyguard romance about her and Thatcher Moretti. Then we get Moffy and Pharaoh again, and this book is when they get married. Then we move on to Charming Like Us, which actually isn't about a second gen character. It's about Charlie Cobalt, which is one of Rose and Connor's other kids' bodyguard, and then Jack Hyland, who works for the families. Then we have the books about Reich and Daisy's firstborn daughter, and this is her, Akara, and Banks, because they are in a polyamorous relationship, and basically they are both her bodyguards as well. In this first book, I can actually say what it's about, how exciting, is basically she's trying to choose which one to date until she realizes that she can kind of just get with both of them. And everyone hates on Sully's books, and I feel bad because I love her books very much. They were one of my favorites. And then second book of theirs is Fearless Like Us. And then the final book for them is Infamous Like Us. And then the next 3 books are about Luna Hale, which is Lily and Lo's firstborn daughter, and Paul Donnelly, which is another bodyguard, except this time it's a little bit unique because he's not her bodyguard. He's her little brother Xander's bodyguard. So it's a little different. But this book is just really good. It's a little bit forbidden, but not really, because they kind of have to keep it a secret because Lo hates Donnelly with a burning passion. Like, does not like him at all. So that becomes a bit of a conflict. Then we have Unlucky Like Us, and then the series ends off with this thick one, Nobody Like Us. And I read Luna and Donnelly's books, all 3 of them. A page fell out. Oh no, that's so sad. That wasn't my fault, I promise. Like, honestly, the covers of Like Us, for some reason, from Amazon were really bad. Like, a lot of them, the pages were falling out all the time, printed wrong, all sorts of crap. So, yeah. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I finished all 3 of Luna and Donnelly's books in, like, 5 days. Because I just could not put them down. Like, this big, thick one, done in, like, 2 days. It was crazy. And they're my favorite couple out of the series. Luna's my favorite girl because she's just so much like Lily. Now, last book we're going over for today is Burn Bright, first book in the Cobalt Empire series, like I said. And this follows Ben Cobalt, which is the second to last child out of the 6, but he's the youngest boy. And Harriet. And basically we saw them in Nobody Like Us, I think it was. And Harriet basically was Luna's lab partner in science class in college. So there was a connection there. And then her and Ben met at the college as well because Ben also attended there. And then they both transferred to NYU instead. So this is them just going to college together. It's friends to lovers. Ben is struggling with some mental issues here, and we just see him live with all of his other brothers and the dynamic between them. and we get little snippets to future couples in here, and it's all just really a fun time. However, I was a little disappointed, like it doesn't give the same vibe as the Like Us series and Addicted Calloway, for reasons I can't say because of spoilers, but it was still fine. It's just I thought it was going to be a 5-star, but I ended up actually giving it a 4. And I think part of the issue as well is because we barely saw Ben in the Like Us series because he was a little disconnected from the family and didn't really want to be around them as much because of his mental struggles. So I wasn't as connected to his character going into it like I would have been if the first book was literally anybody else out of the Cobalts. But it was fine. Obviously, I gave it a 4, so I still really loved it.